Hey lovelies, you're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today we'll be looking at this snatch waist BUBU. It's a butterfly BUBU, so you will need to take your measurement of the length, the shoulder, the sleeve length. Now for the sleeve length, you can measure from your mid shoulder to wherever you want the sleeve to stop. Okay, so I have measured out the length, and I've added the hem allowance that I want to use. Then for the middle front, I mark 2 inches inwards. I'm drawing a line now to indicate my center front, and then I'll have to mark the shoulder line. On this, I'll be placing half of my shoulder measurement. So taking my measurement, it will be from the front center line. That's where I'm taking all my measurements. On my shoulder line, I'll first of all mark half of my shoulder measurement, and then I'll determine whatever length I want the sleeve to. At that point, at my sleeve length, I'm going down with 2 inches. I'll be connecting that to meet my shoulder line. So the next thing, I will mark the sleeve opening. Now remember, this is a BUBU, so it's a cut together sleeve, and I'm marking 12 inches there as my sleeve opening. From my sleeve opening, I will connect it to meet my hem. Now looking at that style, is not the regular BUBU dress that we know. It's kind of slanted at the hem there. So for the width of this fabric I'm using, I'll go in with about 5 inches, and then I'll be connecting that to meet the sleeve opening, and that's it for the front bodies. So for the back bodies, I'll fold the fabric into 2 again and bring in my front panel. For the front panel, remember I added 2 inches for the center slit. So I'll fold that 2 inches inwards and make sure the folded part align with the fold on the fabric beneath. And the difference I will have on these back bodies will be just the shoulder. Ordinarily, I love to have 1 inch higher than the front panel, but in this case, I choose to make it ½ inch. You can choose to make everything the same thing, but just to make me comfortable, I decided to add ½ inch at the shoulder line all the way to the sleeve length. And then I'll cut out everything just the way it is. After folding the 2 inches inwards and adding ½ inch at the shoulder line there, I'll cut the hem, the slant, and the sleeve opening the same, and then I'll have to notch the sleeve opening. So the next thing now, I will mark out my neckline, and I'm using 3½ inches width and 7 inches depth. And using my pattern master, I'll just connect the neck width to the neck depth and cut it out. Now I didn't want it to be just the straight kind of V. I wanted a bit curved, so I used the pattern master. So for the neckline on the back bodies, I'll be using 2 inches depth and the same width with the front, and then cut it out. Remember to always notch your midpoint. It comes very handy when you're sewing. So for the sleeve opening, I'll use the seam allowance that I'll use to do the hemming, and that will be after I have joined the shoulder. And the slit opening in front, I'll simply join it from the neckline to the hem. Have joined the middle front, and I will have to lose some parts from the hem upward. I'll lose about 10 inches. That will be for the slit. And then I'll be using the hemming gum to iron this flat. You can thread it if you want, but I want a neater look on the outside, so I will use the hemming gum and place it underneath the allowance, the allowance we have for the slit, and then I will iron it from the neckline downwards. And for the neckline, I'll be using this bias, this wine bias to to turn it, and then I'll bring in the back bodies and join the back bodies to the front bodies at the shoulder. And I'll be using about ½ inch to do the folding from one hem to the other on each side. So I've ironed flat the slit in front and I've turned the neck using ½ inch to do the folding on each side from hem to hem. I'll be using 2 inches that I added for hemming allowance to do my hemming first. So I'm doing all the finishing first before I will now do the shaping. For the shaping of this bubu, you will need your fitted bust circumference, waist circumference, hip circumference. Align your back hem and the front hem together and you lay it flat. From the shoulder, I'll measure my waist line, my hip line, and my knee line. The knee line, you can take it from the hip line by measuring 8 to 9 inches, or you take it from your waistline, and for mine it's 20. Drawing those lines out, the chest line, the sleeve opening will become my chest line, and on it I'll place 1/4 of my bust circumference without adding any seam allowance, because this will have to be on the right side of the fabric. So I place 1/4 of my bust circumference on my chest line and 1/4 of my waist circumference, same with the hip line. At the knee line there, I'll subtract whatever I have on the hip. I'll subtract 1 from it, and that will be for the knee measurement. Basically, we are doing this as a fitted dress in a bubu. Okay, so I've had to use my curve to take out the outlines. On it, I'll sew exactly what I have drawn out. Okay, that's the shape. At the waist there, I will make it to fitted. Remember, we used to add like 1 inch to the waist circumference. So on the waist, I'll make it a bit easy so it will be easier for me to wear. For the snatching, I'll be using an elastic. So from my shoulder, I'll mark my half length. On it, I'll place 1/4 of my waist circumference, and then I'll determine the difference I have from that waist circumference, the 1/4 of it. I'll know I have about 5 inches there. So it therefore means on the other side, I will have 5 inches as well. So I'm using 8 inches long of this 1 inch elastic, and I'll be using it for the 2 sides. So on the spot, I marked the 1/4 of my waist circumference and placing the elastic. Then I'll do the same thing to the other side. So when you're doing this on a machine, try not to sew the front and the back together, because you will need to attach this separately. The front separate and the back body separate. So when I'm done with this, I'll take it to the machine and I'll attach it, and that will be it for our fitted bubu. So if this video adds any value to you at all, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe and share, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be so delighted to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video to this point, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.